Slugterra, a hidden world beneath our feet. A world teeming with life, magic and slugs. Powerful little critters that transform into fearsome beasts. I loved learning about this world. It was a place of wonder, right? Wrong. That's what I used to think. But Slugterra is not the heroic land I once believed it to be. It's a place of shadows and whispers. A place where even the bravest hearts can be corrupted. Slugterra had fallen. A darkness had choked its vibrant heart, twisting it into a chilling reflection of its former glory. Gone were the cheerful melodies of the singing gardens, now echoing with eerie silence. The caverns, once bursting with life and laughter, were shrouded in a perpetual gloom. The once shimmering slug energy, a force of pure good, was tainted. It pulsed with a menacing crimson light. It pulsed with Eli Shane's malice. The air itself tasted of fear and despair. This was not the Slugterra I knew. This was not the Slugterra anyone knew. This was Eli Shane's domain. Eli Shane. The name once whispered with respect and admiration was now uttered with fear and disdain. He was a phantom, appearing in flashes of dark energy, his presence heralded by the terrified whispers of his subjects. Gone was the bright, determined boy who had arrived with dreams of following in his father's footsteps. In his place stood a figure cloaked in shadow, his face hidden behind an ornate metal mask, his eyes burning with cold, calculating light. He strode through the caverns, his presence suffocating like a shroud. His once vibrant blue jacket was now a stark black, the Shane family crest, a symbol of hope and courage, replaced with a menacing silver serpent, its fangs bared in a perpetual snarl. He was no longer Eli Shane, the Slug Slayer. He was Emperor Shane, the ruler of a broken and enslaved Slugterra, and in his hands he held the very source of its misery, a corrupted Infinity Slug, its once playful blue glow replaced with a pulsating crimson. What could have twisted Eli, the defender of Slugterra, into its destroyer? This question haunts the minds of those who once saw him as a beacon of hope, a hero destined to protect their world from the shadows that lurked within. The answer, like many things in this shadowed realm, lay shrouded in darkness. It was not a single event, but a series of subtle manipulations and dark influences that led him down this path. It started subtly, a whisper of resentment taking root in his heart. Eli, once filled with unwavering determination and a sense of justice, began to question his purpose and the weight of his responsibilities. The weight of expectations, the pressure of following his father's legacy. It all festered within him, fueled by the whispers of a new mentor, a figure as enigmatic as he was dangerous. This mentor, known only as the Serpent, saw potential in Eli's inner turmoil and sought to exploit it for his own gain. They called him the Serpent, a master of dark slugs and forbidden knowledge. His presence was like a shadow, creeping into the corners of Eli's mind, planting seeds of doubt and ambition. He saw Eli's turmoil, sensed the dormant power within him, and saw a chance to shape a weapon to his own design. The serpent's influence was insidious, a constant whisper in Eli's ear, promising him the power to reshape Slugterra in his image. He whispered promises of power, of a Slugterra where Eli wouldn't just follow his father's legacy, he would surpass it, becoming the undisputed ruler. The allure of such power was intoxicating, and Eli found himself drawn deeper into the serpent's web. Eli, still reeling from his father's supposed death, and haunted by the betrayal of the slugs he considered friends, was drawn to the serpent's words like a moth to a flame. His grief and anger made him vulnerable, and the serpent knew exactly how to exploit these emotions. He started experimenting with forbidden techniques, pushing his slugs beyond their limits, corrupting their essence with dark slug energy. Each experiment brought him closer to the power he craved, but it also took him further from the hero he once was. The transformation was gradual but absolute. Eli's once bright and hopeful eyes grew cold and calculating, his actions driven by a desire for control rather than justice. With each passing day, Eli's compassion dwindled, replaced by a chilling ambition. He began to see the world not as a place to protect, but as a realm to conquer, a kingdom to rule with an iron fist. He was no longer fighting for Slugterra. He was conquering it, Fueled by a desire for control and a thirst for revenge against a world he believed had wronged him, the hero had become the villain, and the serpent's whisper had become a roar, echoing through the dark corridors of Eli's mind. Eli's descent into darkness wasn't a solitary one. It began subtly, with whispers of power and promises of greatness that lured him away from the light. He was not alone in his journey. Shadows followed him, drawn to his growing influence and the dark path he tread. As his power grew, so did his following. People from all walks of life, disillusioned and desperate, found themselves gravitating towards Eli. They saw in him a beacon of change, albeit a dark and twisted one. He assembled a legion of loyal followers, seduced by his promises of power or cowed by his ruthless tactics. His charisma was undeniable, and his vision, though dark, was compelling to those who had lost hope in the old ways. Among them were rogue slugslingers, individuals who had long operated on the fringes of society, now finding a leader who understood their plight and offered them a place in his new order. Outcasts seeking a place to belong, those who had been shunned by the world above and below, now had a cause to rally behind. They were given purpose and a sense of belonging, even if it was under a dark banner. And those who had always chafed under the established order, rebels at heart, found in Eli a leader who promised to overthrow the old regime and establish a new world order. His most formidable allies, however, were the Darkbane, a faction of slugslingers who had long sought to control Slugterra's power for their own nefarious purposes. They were powerful, ruthless, and shared Eli's vision of domination. The Darkbane saw in Eli a means to an end, a weapon to wield in their pursuit of domination. They were cunning and manipulative, always plotting and scheming to further their own goals. They saw in Eli a means to an end, a weapon to wield in their pursuit of domination. They were willing to follow him, for now as long as it served their purposes. Together they unleashed a reign of terror upon Slugterra. Their combined forces were unstoppable, and their cruelty knew no bounds. They forged weapons of immense power, designed to crush any opposition. Caverns once bustling with life fell silent, their inhabitants either fleeing or forced into servitude. The once vibrant communities were reduced to ghost towns, echoes of their former selves. Caverns once bustling with life fell silent, their inhabitants either fleeing or forced into servitude. The vibrant energy that once filled these places was replaced with an oppressive silence, their inhabitants either fleeing or forced into servitude. Those who resisted were met with swift and brutal retribution, their spirits broken and their will to fight extinguished. The once vibrant slug energy, the lifeblood of this world, was corrupted. It was twisted into a tool of oppression, used to fuel the Darkbane's war machine and further their dark ambitions. The lifeblood of this world was corrupted, twisted into a tool of oppression. Under Eli's command, the Darkbane's influence spread like a virus, corrupting everything it touched. Under Eli's command, the Darkbane's influence spread like a virus, corrupting everything it touched. Their reach extended far and wide, leaving a trail of destruction in their wake. The Darkbane's influence spread like a virus, corrupting everything it touched. They established fortresses in the heart of once sacred grounds, their twisted metal structures a stark contrast to the natural beauty of Slugterra. They established fortresses in the heart of once sacred grounds, their twisted metal structures a stark contrast to the natural beauty of Slugterra. These fortresses became symbols of their dominance and the new order they sought to impose. Their twisted metal structures a stark contrast to the natural beauty of Slugterra. The land itself seemed to weep under their rule, its once vibrant colors dulled by the shadow of the Darkbane. The rise of Emperor Shane shattered the peaceful existence Slugterra had known. His iron-fisted rule brought an era of darkness and despair, casting a long shadow over the once vibrant and harmonious world. The once united slugslingers were scattered, their ranks decimated, their spirits broken. The echoes of their battles lingered in the air, a haunting reminder of what they had lost. Many fled into hiding, seeking refuge in the deepest, darkest corners of the world. These places, once thought to be mere legends, became their sanctuaries, their last bastions of hope. Others, unwilling to surrender their home without a fight, formed small, desperate resistance cells. These brave souls, though few in number, were determined to reclaim their world from the clutches of tyranny. Among them were Eli's former friends, Trixie, Cord, and Pronto. They had once shared dreams and adventures, but now they were bound by a common purpose: to save Slugterra and the boy they once called friend. Once his staunchest allies, they were now his fiercest opponents, united in their grief and their determination to save both Slugterra and the boy they once called friend. Their bond, though strained, was unbreakable, forged in the fires of their shared struggles. The weight of their lost friendship lay heavy on their hearts. Each day was a reminder of the boy they had lost to the darkness, and the man he had become. Trixie, once the voice of reason and optimism, now carried the burden of leadership with a heavy heart. Her eyes, once filled with hope, now bore the weight of countless sleepless nights and difficult decisions. Cord, his usual jovial demeanor replaced with a stoic resolve, used his strength and ingenuity to fortify their hideouts and plan strategic strikes against Eli's forces. His hands, once used for crafting and building, were now tools of war. Pronto, torn between his loyalty to his friends and his fear of Eli's wrath, struggled to find his place in this new, dangerous world. His heart was a battlefield, torn between the past and the present. Their resistance was a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness, a testament to the enduring spirit of Slugterra. Each small victory, each act of defiance was a spark in the darkness, a reminder that all was not yet lost. But against Eli's growing power and the unrelenting might of the Darkbane, they were fighting a losing battle. The odds were stacked against them, and with each passing day, their hope dwindled. They needed a miracle, a symbol of hope to rally behind. The dawn of a new day, a new beginning, seemed like a distant dream. They needed a new hero, someone who could inspire them, lead them, and reignite the flame of hope that had been all but extinguished. The future of Slugterra depended on it.